Dude, these look like actual 85 Black Toes.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see a rare shoe, but it's not the rare shoe, you know what I mean? How did you guys lose that footage?
Dude, don't worry about that, man. We took care of that over a year ago. What's up, everybody? What Alex is talking about, over a year ago, we did this amazing project from start to finish where we converted some 85 Chicagos into the rare unicorn colorway, the Black Toes. They came out amazing. Unfortunately, one of our editors lost the footage to day one. I took that personally. Let's just say that won't be happening again.
Part of the footage we lost was the deconstruction of the shoe. While Vic took care of the body, I went ahead and started dremeling. The dremeling process on these 85s is not only removing the glue, but also roughing up the leather so that the glue is going to have a more adherable surface. All right, we went ahead and removed all the padding. We then took it outside to dremel the uppers so that we didn't create a mess in here, but now it's time to put in the padding. First, we are going to take a layer of canvas to act as a structural support when we glue it on the inside, and then we are going to cut out the padding. So we got the padding cut out and glued together. It's ready to install, but before we install it, we actually have to put in this piece of canvas. We're gonna glue it along this edge on the inside. The reason being is you can see how flimsy this is. When you glue this in, it adds a lot of structural support. I've already done it to this one, and you can see it is not as flimsy. So I'm gonna go ahead, glue this in, and then I'm gonna glue the padding in.
Alex is all done adding the new padding to these 85s. I gotta say, this is one of the cleanest jobs I've ever seen. It's perfect. Now, we gotta go in and lock it in. We gotta reapply the stitching using the postbend machine.
So the canvas is all glued in and dry. Once it dries, it gets really stiff, so that helps with the structure. Now it's time to put in this padding. The way I'm gonna do it is I'm going to put glue on the inside, place it in there like this, and then slowly glue along the rest that needs to be glued and just fit it as I go. My hands are atrocious right now.
All done replacing the padding inside the collars. This looks factory, dude. Originally, this was inside the sneaker. That's disgusting.
That's pretty nasty.
Look at all that sand and dust.
That was stinky too.
It smelled too. Now we got rid of that 85 stinky smell. So what's next, bro?
So next, we're actually going to prep the areas that we're gonna paint. We're doing so now before putting the sole on. That way none of the red paint potentially bleeds onto the brand new sole or the stitching. So we're gonna go ahead and take care of it with acetone, cotton balls, and Q-tips.
We're gonna take a quick break from the 85s and move on to the donors. This is a good donor, dude. Why are we using these?
They are the 85 cuts. So not only did Jordan Brand put the 85 cut upper on it, but they actually use the same sole. So it has a hump right here in the middle, and it also is thicker, so it's deeper for us to just basically drop the shoe in. The texture on it is different than what you get on your normal retro, but you just kind of win some, lose some. So we're gonna take it as it is.
I like it. It's an extra touch of authenticity to these 85s.
Yeah, it is. So now that the cord along the sole is removed, it's time to put acetone in these and separate the sole from the upper.
Got our donor soles. Now the next step is to age these. Right now they're way too white. It wouldn't make sense to put them on some 37-year-old shoes. We gotta give it some age. So for this next step, we're gonna be using the coffee method. One question though, wouldn't it make sense to do the prep work first?
So you could do that, but a little trick, when staining it with coffee, the glue is actually going to take on a separate stain from the rubber, so you're going to be easily able to see exactly what you have to remove, and you're not doing more work than you actually have to.
Gotcha.
Yep, so let's go ahead and take care of this, and we're also going to take care of the threading that goes along it. We're going to stain it the same way so it has the same hue.
Only difference is that only goes in there for like 10 seconds, right?
Yep, and the soles are in there for 10 minutes.
Cool. You got a poo now?
All right, so the soles are stained and so is the cord. They turned out great for the age that we want it to. I'm gonna go ahead and prep this with the Dremel. Vic, what are you gonna do?
So I'm gonna focus on the uppers next. I'm gonna head over to the machine, remove these Nike tongue tags. On the black toes, it actually has a white and black colorway Nike tongue tag. So we gotta remove these and replace them.
When prepping the soles with a Dremel, be careful not to remove the texture that is on the inside of the soles. That texture is there for a reason, to help with the adhering of your bond. Removing it could actually weaken your bond and cause separation.
The first step is to use a seam ripper to carefully remove the Nike tongue tags. After that, we'll be using some Foxtrot uniform Nike tongue tags to replace them. When I go in and sew them, the idea is to use all the original holes and not create any new ones.
All right, so the tongue tags are on and they look great. The next step to this is to put down glue, but before that, we actually have to make it fit. So as you can see, this heel here, it's not deep enough, right? The reason being is that there is like a plastic heel counter in here that comes down and it doesn't really bend, but to make it bend, you can heat it up and then bend it to shape that you need it. So I'm gonna heat it up, just bring it in like that and it'll sit flush. Then I'll go ahead and lay glue down. All right, so the glue was laid down and now it is dry, but we need to get it sticky again, so we're gonna heat it up to create that bond and stick it together. All right, so the glue job is done. These soles are onto the uppers. What does it look like to you, Vic? Look good?
That looks beautiful. That 85 sole fits nicely on an 85 upper.
It definitely does.
So what's next, bro?
We are gonna use these. Can you tell me a little about them?
All right, so today we're gonna be using some Shoeminator wipes. We're just gonna give this shoe a good wipe down. It's really not that dirty, but we have been messing with the shoe a lot. It's kind of dusty from the inside collars. So all we gotta do is give it a nice wipe down. Good to go with the wipe down. Now we're onto the toe boxes. We wanna get a nice clean shape. So for this, we're gonna be using the iron method. First, we're gonna grab some microfiber towels and stuff it inside the toe box. Then we'll grab a wet cloth, use a little iron to remove the creases very carefully. That shape looks a lot better. Now we're on to the paint job. For the paint job, it's gonna be a two-part. We're gonna start off with laying down some bone all around the edge. For this particular shoe, they use red leather. That means all around the edge, there's red leather. If we just lay down the black, that red will show and it's gonna look a little jank. So we'll lay down the bone first. Once all the red's covered up all around the edges, we'll move on to laying down the rest of the black. Got the black paint on there. Not gonna lie, that took forever between laying down the bone all around the edges, getting the black on there solid, but this looks beautiful. This really does look like an 85 black toe. Now we're on to the next step, which is laying down the stitching all around the sole. We got our H thread, our sewing awl, and our black thread that's gonna go inside to start sewing it together. Stitching is in place. Now we're on to placing the Texon boards back into the soles. Real quick, I want to show you guys this cool detail that's on some of the 85 Texon boards. Right here's a text that translates to "of the highest quality," and it's true. These shoes were made of quality materials. Cool detail. So how are you gonna put these back into the shoes?
So I'm just gonna go ahead and glue it right in and that will do the job.
Cool, sounds easy.
The glue is dry, it's time to heat it up to make it stick. So the Texon boards are in, and now it is time for us to address the collars. These are fragile collars, and this was a stressful process on the shoe. So to prolong the life of the collars and prevent any future cracking, we're gonna do something to it. What are we gonna do, Vic?
So we're gonna spray some Rejuvenator mink oil on the collars and the rest of the leather. What this stuff's gonna do is recondition the leather and just make it healthy. So we'll spray a nice even coat, let the leather absorb it. After that, we'll come back and lace them up. Mink oil is inside the leather. It looks great. It looks a lot healthier now. We're on to the final two details. What's next?
Next, we're gonna throw in some donor insoles because they didn't come with the original ones, and then we're gonna lace them up with some Foxtrot uniform laces.
All right, YouTube, that is gonna bring us to an end on this restoration and custom Black Toe 1985 Jordan 1s. It's not very often where you get to customize and restore a pair of 85s, dude.
Yeah, this was quite the process and quite the experience at the same time.
We'll talk about the restoration first. This was a proper restoration all around. It doesn't get any better than that. We all know when it comes to 85 shoes, they completely deteriorate on the inside. I'll show you guys again. That was on the inside of the sneakers. Dust, old foam, stinky foam. We went in, replaced it all. That was all thanks to Alex. I learned a lot of stuff. What was the process like?
It was different than when we build an 85 because we don't have access to the sock liner laying all the way up. We just kind of have to shove it in there. Yeah, it turned out good though. I'm really happy with it.
He's underplaying it. The insides, like, it has a nice shape. There's no crease marks. It looks factory, you guys. Same thing with the rest of the shoe. We did a good job using an 85 outsole. It flows perfectly with the rest of the shoe. I'm glad we didn't use just a regular Jordan 1 retro sole.
Yeah, it would have not only changed the silhouette of it slightly, but also would have been a lot more difficult. So this is better for us and better for the client because they get a nice looking pair.
Alignment's on point, dude. You can't even tell the shoe was restored. That's how good it is.
Pretty nice, man.
Now let's get into the custom side of things. The Chicago Jordan 1 was the perfect base shoe to create the rare Black Toe Jordan 1s, am I right?
You are, it flowed right into the Black Toe very easily.
All we did was add the black to 5 different panels, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We thought it was gonna be an easy job, 15 minutes at most. We were wrong, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of details, especially with the edge, how we applied a look there over the red leather to make it look like it's not red leather.
Those are the small details. If we would have just painted it all black, it would have looked kind of funky, not proper with the rest of the age of the shoe. But it looks good, man. We spent a lot of time making sure that black was inside the stitching. Every little crevice, you won't see any red, I promise you that. And lastly, we added some black and white Nike tongue tags to fully complete the look. Dude, these look like actual 85 Black Toes.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see a rare shoe, but it's not the rare shoe, you know what I mean?
It was definitely a pleasure. And I learned a lot of cool stuff from Alex just by watching him glue, adding the padding. Appreciate it, dude.
No problem, anytime, man.
Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Vick Almighty and Flip It Kicks. We'll catch you guys next time. See you guys.